This video will quickly detail a few different front plank variations with an emphasis on shoulder extension. This emphasis on shoulder extension is going to help recruit specifically the external oblique and potentially rectus abdominis, as well as obviously your shoulder extensors. So this first variation is an arms elevated front plank. You can use a chair, you could use a stability ball, something just to get your hands up off the floor. Makes it a little bit easier to get into the position. So when I get set up, I want my elbows in front of my shoulders. That's going to be something that helps with the emphasis on shoulder extension because the gravity will want to push my arms overhead. It's going to force me to push down and kind of sweep my arms down into the chair to activate those shoulder extensors. So I'll get set up with my elbows in front of my shoulders. I'm going to curl my hips and try to keep my upper back as round as possible. From here, I'm going to just think like I'm trying to pull my elbows towards my front pockets. In this position, I'll take a nice easy breath in, all the way out. Easy breath in, and all the way out. I would say that's progression number one. To make this a little harder, probably the next progression would be just to lengthen the lever arm. So rather than me kind of being folded up, I just walk my knees back further behind me and then complete the same process. I'm going to pull my elbows down and back towards my front pockets, round my hips, and try to keep a full back. Easy breath in, all the way out. You'll know that you're in the correct position if you're able to keep your low back rounded, so that when you breathe in, you're actually pushing some air into your, or not air, but expanding your lower back. You'll know the progression is a little bit too hard if I can't keep my hips tucked underneath me and I start to kind of lose that gentle roundness to my low back, where my back starts to extend and my hips or my chest start to fall towards the floor. Another progression, once you feel like you've mastered kind of that plank variation with a longer lever arm, is you can start to try to add some dynamic movement. So I don't have a stability ball with me, but this rolling chair would work fine. I can put my elbows on the chair, tuck the hips, then I'm going to roll out, roll back in, again, as long as you keep the hips tucked. On this activity, you can breathe in on the way out and then exhale on the way back in. That's just going to be a little bit more dynamic, challenging variation than the two variations before that. If you master a stability ball rollout, or I guess a rolling chair rollout, you can eventually progress to the ab wheel. So this just brings the hands lower to the floor. That's going to make you support more of your body weight. What I would suggest here is set up with a wall in front of you, and then you're just trying to find that sweet spot of how far you can roll out without rolling out and letting everything fall towards the floor. I need to be able to keep a gentle roundness to my back throughout the entire time. Again, I can inhale on the way out, exhale on the way back. To make that a little bit more effective, again, set up with a wall in front of you. Try to find the distance where you can roll out and just barely touch the wall before you lose that spinal position. And then an easy progression is just to creep further and further away from the wall as your strength and control improves.